That's the homie. But you so he was outside.
Jaden's your homie?
No. I just lied. Damn. You exposed me.
I'm sorry.
You go through enough problems. Listen.
She was like, on a little bit about that. She was excited for you to be friends with Jaden Smith.
Nah.
She was impressed.
Yeah.
No.
I would have been.
That's a different type of friend.
That's the next level. That's what I'm saying. That's the next level.
Listen.
That's like Castanet level.
Oh,
That's Druski.
That's Druski level.
See now?
They're playing with you.
Kai's my homie.
I shout him out.
Kai's my homie.
So is Druski, right?
I'm not
Associates.
Yeah.
Does he know who you are?
Of course.
He
He
Druski
I don't know y'all.
Nah,
relationship.
Druski DM in 2011. He
Oh, okay.
He dubbed him. He said you're not funny
Thumbs
enough.
up.
said, let's work.
Yeah, that was bad. But I don't want to talk about that. Listen.
No, now yeah.
Because it's a lesson learned. It's a lesson learned. Yeah, and I don't make U-turns. What else?
You should.
I mean,
look.
Because how?
Do the K-turns. Little safe.
Put the blinker on.
You on your ass.
Last time we talked about. Shout out to Druski. I think I'm a fan. I think
He's amazing,
great.
yeah.
Last time we talked about that up here, people were agreeing with you. I think you said that, or somebody said up here that it's okay to go back even if you shun somebody. I'm saying it's embarrassing. Yeah. If I shun somebody, I don't think that I'll feel embarrassed to later go back to them and try to work with them.
But if he came up to you, you'd say, yes, sir.
Maybe, yeah.
Druski?
You gonna get the shuck on?
the shucking? Shucking and jiving?
No, I'm just saying, like, if somebody reach out to you,
Exactly. What you need, boss?
In my mind, I'm gonna think that he's always gonna remember that, and he's gonna try to embarrass me.
He might not.
Well, one thing you could do in all seriousness is just apologize if you did something wrong.
Yeah, but he might not even be on that. He like, yo, come on, little man. I
got you, little nigga. Hold my boom mic.
Oh, so I'm gonna be the boom operator? His arms are not long enough.
Stop it.
You the new JR, nigga. You the new JR.
Druski Jr. Oh my God, that was foul of him to say. You said it.
Are you
trying to pass off the foulness?
Right. That was a foul thing to say.
Well, all right, y'all. We got a serious piece of business to cover, though.
All right, what's up?
I think a lot of times.
For most casual viewers, the world of live streaming looks like a dream. You turn on your camera, play a game or chat, and thousands of people watch, cheer, and donate. But beneath the bright overlays and catchy alerts is a grind that rivals any other form of entertainment work. It's a space where your livelihood depends on being constantly present, constantly on, and constantly vulnerable to an audience you can't control. For women, and especially for women who become recognizable figures on platforms like Twitch, Kick, or YouTube Live, the challenges multiply. Nina Lynn has become one of the few people willing to break the fourth wall and describe, in unflinching detail, what it's like to be a woman navigating this industry. When she speaks about her experience, she's not indulging in self-pity or drama. She's exposing the mechanics of an ecosystem that still functions in many ways like an old boys club, one with algorithms instead of gatekeepers, but the same expectations, the same double standards, and the same traps. Streaming is performative intimacy. The chat room is a hybrid of a stadium and a living room. A male streamer can shout, rage, crack jokes, even throw things, and it's read as part of the content. If a female streamer does the same, it's labeled as overreacting or emotional. If she claps back at harassment, it's aggressive. If she maintains composure, she's boring or robotic. Nina Lynn's frustration with this dynamic points to something deeper than isolated incidents. It's an architecture of expectations. The unspoken rulebook is written by years of cultural scripts about how women should behave in public and how they should react to male attention. When those scripts are violated, chat reacts with hostility. That hostility is amplified by the speed and anonymity of the internet. The feedback loop is brutal. A single clip can circulate out of context, reinforcing the very stereotypes that trigger it. One of the most exhausting parts of streaming, especially for women, is the constant negotiation between personhood and performance. The camera isn't just a tool, it's a magnifying glass. It enlarges every facial expression, every pause, every word choice. For men, this magnification can sometimes become a source of power. Their mistakes are excused, their slip-ups memed affectionately, their meltdowns treated as quirky branding. For women, the same magnification becomes a liability. Nina Lynn's commentary illuminates how this liability extends beyond a single stream. It seeps into DM harassment, into parasocial relationships where male viewers feel entitled to intimacy or response, into whispered rumors among other streamers, and into the invisible calculations platforms make when deciding which creators to feature. In other words, the bias isn't just in the chat, it's in the entire ecosystem. Every streamer knows that conflict drives engagement. Clips of confrontations, breakdowns, or outbursts get posted, reposted, stitched, and monetized across platforms. But there's a cruel asymmetry in who gets to profit from outrage. When a male streamer pranks another male streamer, it's content. When a female streamer responds to provocation, it's meltdown. The male prankster gains followers, the female target loses sponsorships. Nina Lin points to this asymmetry with raw clarity. Her lived example is the feeling of being baited into a reaction, harassed until you snap, and then punished for snapping. The dynamic echoes a long history of dismissing women's anger as hysteria, while valorizing men's aggression as assertiveness. It's a centuries-old double standard, now turbocharged by clips, algorithms, and monetized outrage. To really understand why Nina Lin's commentary hits so hard, you have to understand the male gaze as it operates in digital spaces. Traditional media studies describe the male gaze as the way film and television position women as objects of visual pleasure rather than subjects of agency. Streaming doesn't eliminate that gaze, it upgrades it. The gaze becomes interactive. It comments, tips, subscribes, and demands. It can shift from adoration to abuse in seconds. For a female streamer, every outfit, every angle, every expression can become a flashpoint. She is simultaneously expected to be attractive enough to hold attention and modest enough not to ask for harassment. She must be charismatic but not thirsty, funny but not trying too hard, approachable but not easy. The impossible balancing act is not just exhausting, it's weaponized. Viewers who feel rejected, ignored, or embarrassed can and do retaliate by coordinating hate raids, posting doxing information, or circulating false narratives. Streaming platforms incentivize authenticity. But authenticity on demand is emotional labor. It requires managing not only your own feelings, but also the collective mood of thousands of viewers. For women, that labor includes deflecting unwanted advances, moderating sexist jokes, and soothing egos bruised by boundaries. It's unpaid work layered on top of the actual content of the stream. Nina Lin's perspective makes visible how relentless this labor becomes. Every boundary you set can be turned into a new point of attack. Every moment of vulnerability can be screen captured and thrown back at you. And because the platform's revenue model rewards high watch time and frequent streaming, taking a break to recover isn't just a mental health choice, it's a financial risk. One of the more pointed issues Nina Lin raises is the myth that women in streaming are buffed by male colleagues, meaning they supposedly benefit from male shoutouts, collaborations, or raids. This narrative frames female success as derivative, as if it's granted rather than earned. It erases the countless women who grind for years without male cosigns. It also conveniently ignores the fact that male streamers build their audiences through networking too, but are never accused of riding coattails. This myth serves a purpose. It allows male viewers and male streamers to dismiss female success as undeserved, which in turn justifies their resentment, their trolling, or their gatekeeping. Nina Lin's critique exposes this mechanism. The buff is not an advantage, but a trap, a way of devaluing women's labor and shifting blame for harassment back onto the victim. At its most disturbing, the dynamic Nina Lin describes leads to a situation where women's pain becomes content. Clips of harassment go viral. Streamers are pressured to laugh it off for fear of seeming overly sensitive. Platforms are slow to respond to coordinated abuse because controversy drives traffic. Safety takes a backseat to engagement metrics. This is not a trivial issue. It shapes the very demographics of who becomes a streamer, who stays, and who leaves. Talented women burn out, retreat to smaller platforms, or quit entirely. The industry loses their voices, and the next generation of female viewers gets the message. This space isn't for you unless you can endure constant abuse. What Nina Lin is doing by speaking up is more than venting. She's rewriting the script.